And thank you so much for joining us for Idaho Today. I'm Melissa Paul. It is wedding season, and if your mailbox is filling up with invites, here's one you've probably never seen before. Instead of a guest list and gift registry, Steve and Marley invited everyone to their special day. But here to share what makes their wedding so different is the bride and groom themselves. We have Marley and Steve here. Hello, welcome to both of you.
Hello, hello.
Okay, so you both have a very unique approach to a wedding. It's been quite the buzz, I think, along social. Okay, so tell us, what made your wedding different than a traditional one?
Well, we sold tickets to it. We turned it into an event that people could come for just the one day of the wedding, or there was also a whole weekend thing. There was 3 days that people could opt in for, and we just made it as another option instead of like, hey, don't buy us a toaster.
Yeah.
You could just pay for your seat at the table, and there was a whole experience wrapped around it.
Okay, and then how was that received? I mean, that's unique and new, right?
Totally.
Because usually when someone comes to a wedding, they have to invest in travel, and then they also invest in gifts, and then in an outfit. How did this happen and roll out as an event?
Yeah, we started looking at the different costs of what it takes to actually go get married, and it's expensive. And
Very
we're like, why don't we just flip the narrative a little bit? And sometimes we'll get an invitation to a wedding, and you're not super thrilled, or might go out of obligation. We're like, well, if you buy a ticket, it's such a different psychology, right? People are more intentional about it, and so we said we might as well go sell some tickets and literally just ask people to cover the cost of the meal.
Okay, so just the cost of the meal. All right.
That was it.
So I think we're looking at some examples here of how you set this up. It says the no toaster needed ticket. So explain to us what we're looking at, because it looks like an itinerary of events that you're buying. Is that correct?
So just for the wedding day was $57, which most people were like, oh, normally I would buy a gift for so much more than that. Don't buy us a gift. Just if you want to come and be there, then it's $57 and you get to come experience this whole thing. And we had a ton of entertainment, incredible experiences for them to be like, oh, easily $57.
So it's kind of like a festival.
Yes, it absolutely was.
Exactly what it was like.
Festival with a wedding shoved in there.
And then in the 3 days, so the day before the wedding, there was some relationship experts doing almost like a relationship retreat day. We joke that like, we're not the experts. We've only been married -1 day, so we brought in experts. There was also a charity rehearsal dinner. Then the next day was the wedding. And then the day after, there was a biohacking brunch for like recovery and health stuff, which again, we brought in some like brain optimization experts and breath work and really cool stuff. And people were thrilled. It was like a very unique experience.
And do you guys have a background in event planning?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
so you were bringing yourselves to the table with this.
Yeah.
We said basically, what's the most us kind of wedding we could do? And we do events, and we're like, why don't we just use some of those skills here?
Oh, look, and then there's your lovely wedding photos. And that is courtesy, am I correct, of People magazine?
Yes, those were People exclusives. That was really exciting.
And so your entrepreneurship applied to your wedding actually got a lot of buzz, not only locally but nationally, hence why you're also in the feature in People. So I imagine this was very successful.
It was, and the part that we haven't even shared yet is that we also raised money for charity. And
I heard you plug that in. I was going to ask about that.
Yes, we raised $132,000 for Village Impact, and that came from. So there was, of course, people could come to the wedding, but at the wedding we also had things like silent auction, or we had bracelets that people could buy that were made from kids in Kenya.
And what's the nonprofit again then that you benefited with?
Village Impact. So we're going to be going to Africa with them next year to help build schools.
Build more schools over there. Yeah.
A couple years ago, and just loved it.
No kidding. So you guys going to renew your vows?
I guess so.
And plan another event.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to the next one.
Yeah, people are like, when is the next one?
That's
like,
excellent.
Give me a little time to recover from this one.
So you obviously did a fundraiser for a very good cause.
Yeah.
You brought yourselves to the table with this, which is a great celebration of both of you and your union, right? But then at the end, a lot of people plan their wedding to get a little leg up, right? You get those wedding gifts. You don't have to go and buy all these things. How did you end out in the back end of this? Did it benefit you as a couple?
Well, the wedding itself cost about $50,000 to go do, and we
for 3 days, by the way.
3 days.
Like that.
Really?
That's a pretty good budget.
No, that's sometimes a rent. That's sometimes a
know.
venue rental, depending on where you're going.
We were quoted really high, so we went in and we had 300 people come to the wedding, and about. I think we did 52-ish grand in ticket sales. So the rest of it,
so broke even.
At the wedding itself, we went and did a donation pitch, and the donation pitch is actually what raised $132,000.
That's amazing. Look at you.
The
what a
intention
wonderful
wasn't for
structure
us to make money, but I do hope that people in the future imagine if they could put money towards their home or their honeymoon. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be amazing. Love this, you guys. Where can people go to learn more?
So they can check us out on Instagram, on YouTube, or if you also go to weddingfunnels.com, that's where we one day want to teach this to other couples.
Oh, wonderful. Both of you, thank you so much. Love your ingenuity. That's so smart. More Idaho Today coming up right after the break.